if you like the game of football like I do, you're probably going to want to hear it. And if you're a Carolina Panthers fan, you're definitely going to hear it. Hello, Panther fans. It's Timmy VO here, the Panther COMMS podcast, and football fans. Well, we're going to talk defense because I feel it's my duty as a Carolina Panthers fan to not only talk about our team, but talk about the game of football, because the Carolina Panthers wouldn't be shit if it weren't for the game of football. Okay? Check. Then what I'm going to do is read some critical statistics in relation to Evero's defense and the difference between what he did in 2022, his last season with the Broncos when they were really good, and the Carolina Panthers 2025 season and how that panned out. And, well, we all know who the common denominator is in that situation, which is Evero. All right. So we're going to talk about some things. It's very interesting. If you really want to know about the game of football, you might want to listen to this. So first, we're going to talk about how this defense stacked up in terms of statistics overall and, situational football, third down conversions, things of that nature. And then we'll get into the meat and potatoes. So if you notice in the highlight area here, the Carolina Panthers allowed 380 points overall this season, which is 22.4 per game, 327 yards per game, 3,467 passing yards, 2,096 rushing yards, 30 sacks, 15 interceptions, and 9 forced fumbles. 6 of those were recovered. In terms of third down defense, the opponents converted 99 out of 210 attempts, which is 47%, which is also 1 out of 2. And total yards allowed on third down was 5,563. 1,049 of those were by plays, which winds up being about 5.3 yards per play. Now, in terms of positioning defensively, the Carolina Panthers defense ranked 15th in scoring defense and 16th in total defense overall, which is a huge jump from last season. Now, let's look at what Evero did with his last season with the Denver Broncos when they were really good. Now, we'll also do a compare-contrast, but let's just check out what he did, okay? So this is the 2022 Denver Broncos defense, okay? Points allowed, 359, 21.1 per game, 320 per game in terms of yards, passing yards, 3,574, rushing, 1,866, 36 sacks, 15 interceptions, 16 forced fumbles, and 7 of those were recovered. All right, when we're talking about third down, also known as money downs, right? They were second in the NFL in third down conversion rate at 34. Second. Yards per play allowed, 5, which was 6 in the league. Points per drive, 1, 7th in the league. Red zone touchdown rate allowed, 51.1, which was 7th. And defensive 3-and-out rate, again, 37.9, which was 4th in the NFL. All under Evero's watch. Now we're going to do a direct comparison between the 2022 Broncos with Evero and the 2025 defense with the Panthers. Okay. All right, first we'll start with scoring and yardage. Okay, points allowed per game for the Carolina was 22. Denver was 21. All right, so yeah, Denver was better by 1.3 points per game. All right, total yards allowed per game, 327 to 320. Again, not that big of a difference. Run pass profile. So passing yards allowed per game, the Panthers give up 203. The Broncos give up 210. Interesting. Rushing yards allowed per game, 123 to 109. All right. Not that big of a difference. Again, disruption, right? Sacks, 30. Denver, 36. Trending in the right direction, right? Interceptions, dead even. Forced fumbles. Denver has seven more. All right. But we were forcing fumbles nonetheless. Right. And get off the field performance. The biggest one. Third down allowed. 47% versus 34%. So this is the problem. Third down conversion rate is the biggest problem for our defense going forward. Okay. So what does it say in plain terms? Well, Evero's Denver 2022 unit paired solid totals with elite drive efficiency. Third down, points per drive, 3-and-out rate. Okay. Carolina 2025 unit produced a mid-tier scoring defense and good interception volume, but gave up conversions at an extremely high rate on third down with less pass rush production, because that's what Evero leans on. So now we're going to talk about Evero's schematics and how he approaches the game. This is something you need to understand. So what the scheme is designed to do, right? So Evero lives in the broader Fangio split field modern zone match universe, right? With these reoccurring traits, right? This is what he leans on. 2 high shells with post snap rotation, right? So you line in the split safety and spin late. Okay. Zone heavy, technique driven, right? So rather than constant all out pressure, more zone coverage than man, but with situational aggression when needed. Okay. But he relies on a particular group of people. We'll get to that in just a second. Right. And split field coverage menu. So a cover 2, cover 4 family with zone match principles underneath defenders, match carry deliver routes to cap defenders. All right. So you're very back end. Right. And you have an overhang apex player quality heavily influences how aggressive the match rules can be. Now, we'll explain that in just a second, okay? And of course, the 3-4 base identity with package multiplicity. Evero has shown a meaningful base 3-4 rate and then mixes sub-packages and simulated creeper concepts off the same pre-snap pictures. Now, that simulated creeper concept is what got us in trouble against Matthew Stafford. We were showing where we were coming off the blitz too early prior to the snap, and he was able to manipulate that. But let's explain a little bit. See, what this system optimizes for is limit explosives early, force long drives, and then win high leverage downs, third down, red zone with disguise, tight spacing, and timely pressure. Okay, that's what it's all about. So what does Evero need to get back to that Denver Bronco 2022 defense? I'll explain. And this is pointing directly to what I was saying in other videos about Evero and his defense. Number 1, edge rushers who win without blitz help. When you don't have to have blitz help, you can put more people in coverage. It's plain and simple, right? The structure often prefers coverage integrity, too high shells, match spacing. You need edges who can win one-on-one, so you don't have to blitz your coverage math into bad matchups, okay? Overhangs, so the linebackers, and this is where we're getting killed in the middle of the field. The scheme's zone match efficiency, hinges on overhangs being able to, quote unquote, carry and deliver vertically and close windows and breakers. This is why Roseboom was able to get a couple of picks in the center of the field, because he did that finally. If those players are limited, speed, change of direction, processing, quarterbacks hunt the intermediate seams and option routes, especially on third and medium. That's what happened against the Rams on that final drive held throughout the entire game. Okay. And C, a true coverage eraser in the secondary. Remember, we did not have J.C. Horn on that last drive. It was just Mike Jack, okay? And the reason why Evero needs that is because a top boundary corner and or elite safety, Scott's good, but he's not an elite. Morag is good, but he's not that good in pass coverage. That allows you to keep the disguise, rotate late, and still survive if the rush is average. We did not have that. Hell, we really still don't have that. Okay, so why did the 2022 Denver team fit the system? You have Patrick Surtain, all right, he will be our J.C. Horn as a true CB1, and Justin Simmons as a coverage communication hub. Again, communication is critical when you have this type of scheme and schematics constantly moving. People need to be where they're supposed to be. Okay, and that's a blueprint: premier coverage piece, competent match defenders, edges that force a quarterback off the spot. We don't have that. So what do we need? Well, right. So let's get into the personnel and we'll wrap this up real quick. Okay. If you're evaluating roster building, which is what we're doing, these are the most scheme relevant levers. Okay. Lever 1, add 1 true tilt edge rusher or 2. Okay. Scorton is good, but we need to get more help. Okay. Secondly, upgrade the overhang match athlete. Right. So per the Fangio's split field logic, the overhang quality, which is normally the linebackers, determines how aggressively you can match and close the intermediate windows. If your overhangs are more linebacker than DB, right, quarterbacks will repeatedly target the seams and option routes in 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 6. Our linebacker core has been our Achilles the entire season. And this is what happens. This is why we're getting killed over the middle of the. And lastly, preserve and deepen the secondary communicated group. Again, communication is critical in his scheme because the disguise plan is a feature, not a gimmick. You need continuity and processing. Evero's documented tendency toward too high alignment with rotation puts a premium on DB communication and speed of passing route. Panther Nation, we're not far. We're not far away from getting a defense that's going to be as good as the 2022 Denver Broncos. And when that happens, we're going to be unstoppable. This is what the Panther Comms podcast is about. This is what I'm about. I break down the game of football. I break down the breakdowns of the game of football. And if you think I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, try me. Because I'll set that bad boy up every time. Blue 80! Keep pounding.